Hey folks, welcome back to the bench. Well, after the initial quadcopter flight, I've decided I need to do some tuning and so on. That's why you see I've got the controller board and whatnot off of the unit. So what I'm going to do today, or I'm going to try to do, is flash the latest, or almost latest firmware into this unit. This unit is sitting at version 1.2, and I want to get it to 1.5 or 1.4. 1.5 is the same as 1.4, except it has camera gimbal stabilization in it. That's the only difference from what I understand. So, and I won't be using that right now. So I may go to 1.4, because a few people have been saying 1.5 has the odd issue. Now, in order to do that, you need a couple things. You need a computer. I've got my shop computer up over here, laptop, and you're going to need one of these USB AVR programmers. Now, this one I got off of eBay. It was cheap. I can't remember what it was. It was under $10. It was like $6 or $7, if that. And it came with this 10-pin adapter, and I'm not sure why they're shipping them with these, because most of the units now have a 6-pin header. So this is the header you connect to on the KK2.0, but the pin out, normally you could just probably plug this in. So I've got a couple options. Well, really only one option tonight, or today. Well, no, I got two options. I could take this cable apart, which may be what I'll do. Or I could make an adapter. I could take this cable apart, split these wires out, and get them to the appropriate pins in here. So I'm only using 6 of the 10 wires. The other thing I was thinking of doing was I was going to take 2 of these servo leads, which when held together will give me a 6-pin adapter, which would, get that out of the way, which would slip on there just like so. I could heat shrink the 2 together so they give me my 6-pin. And then I was going to just solder them on the appropriate connections on here, so they'd be coming off of here. But now I guess the third option, I could take these and pop this connector apart and put these wires in the appropriate spots as well. So I'm going to think about it a little bit, and when I come back you'll see the decision I made. So I tried a couple different methods and I got kind of frustrated. So what I just did was soldered the wires on there for now. And first thing I'm going to do before I do anything else is take my multimeter. I've got my pinouts and all that written on this piece of paper here. So I am going to double check by plugging this in. The orange is pin 1. Wish if I had a silver Sharpie here I would mark it, but I don't at the moment. So I just got to remember orange is pin 1. I don't know if you'll be able to see on the back of that board. One of the pins is square, or one of the pads is square, so that's pin 1 as well. So we match it up. So I'm just going to see it plugs in there, no problem. And I'm just going to take my multimeter and go pin to pin, because this board is labeled with what each connection is, so I can confirm that I have this wired up properly. So I'll turn my multimeter on to continuity. Beeps when you connect the 2 together. Now pin 1 should be MISO. I'm going to hook it onto there. That's the square pad, and this is MISO on here, the programmer. That's good. Pin 2 is VTG or VCC, whatever you want to call it. So that is on this side. That's right here, the white wire. That's good. Pin 3 is SCK. Not sure what that is. It's the red wire back here. Pin 4 is MOSI, which is this red wire over here. Pin 5 is reset, which is this brown wire here. Yeah, looks like I got her. Pin 6 will be just the ground. Perfect. So now the next step is to download all the software on the computer. A couple files you actually need. 3 files. You need the software for flashing. And if you're using Windows, which I am out here, I don't have my MacBook out here, you need a driver for this little board. And the final thing you need is the actual firmware. So I'm going to go download all those files, and then I'll show you on the computer what I'm doing. Hopefully it works. Okay folks, I think I got all the steps taken care of in order to flash the firmware. You can see the lights lit up. I got the driver loaded, okay. And I've got the KK flash tool or multi-flash program as well. I'm going to fire it up. I had to do a Java update or load Java on this old computer, so let's see what she does now. I'm not sure if I have to download the program or the firmware or if it'll be available here already. Where you can see the programmer, it's showing it already. That should be the correct one. I am flashing a HobbyKing KK2.0. Flashing firmware, choose the firmware to flash. Here you can specify file. But I see there's a drop down here. And lo and behold, there it is. Don't know if I should do 1.4 or 1.5. I'll try 1.5 and I can always put 1.4 on. So like so. Now I don't know if I should have plugged the KK 2.0 in first, but we'll see what happens when I connect it. There she goes. It lit up. I heard a sound, so I'm actually going to restart this with the board plugged in. Let's see what happens. There's a YouTube video I could watch, but now let's wing it. Pray I don't turn this into a brick. So there we go. I got the right one selected. One of these buttons should be flash the selected firmware from the internet. So let's see, there we go. Error during writing flash. Did not find USB device. So we got a problem. So let me do some more troubleshooting and I'll get back to you. Okay, I think I know what happened. When I plugged the programmer in, I heard the chime on the computer saying that the device had been disconnected. So I think what had happened was the KK 2.0 pulled too much power out of the USB port and it caused the USB to disconnect. So hooked the battery with the speed controller up. Now it's booted up, it's safe, showing everything's okay. And I didn't hear the chime go this time, so let's give it another shot. I've got the KK 2.0 selected, USB ASP programmer, firmware KK 2.0 version 1.5 by Captain Cook. So let's try. There we go. That was what was wrong. You can see down here that it says flashing. The screen's blank right now. I'm not gonna. You can see a red light on, meaning it's doing something. So there, red light's off. And I think, lo and behold, that did her. It says it's successful. I'm going to disconnect. Hold the power down speed controller, power that, take the USB ASP off, and I'll hold this up so you can maybe see. Let's see what it says for a firmware version. I would assume it's okay. The camera will focus. Version 1.5, rock and roll. So that's a success. So I can throw that back on the quadcopter and see how the self-leveling goes. Awesome. I'm happy. So that was the easy thing. Let me just zoom you out and get you line back up on the bench here. You can see. So I'm not done yet. So that was the easy part. Now comes the hard part. Just get this all out of the way. I was using my old sidewinder to power the unit, but next thing I want to try, I've got one of these spare red bricks, speed controllers, and I want to see if I can flash the Simon K software into it. It's a special firmware to help make the quadcopters fly a lot better. It's for it upgrades the ability for this to read the 400 hertz signal at speed that's coming out of the KK2.0 to make things more responsive. But from what I've read, it's hit and miss whether it'll work on these red bricks. I wish I would have known in advance. I would have bought a different HobbyKing speed controller, but oh well. Some guys have had success, some haven't. And yeah, I'll see if I blow it up or not. Now the problem with flashing these, I gotta check. They don't have a, if you can see, there's no real proper header on these ones. So you either gotta connect to these tiny little pins right on the chip. But I do see there are some small pads here to connect to, so I'm going to take my multimeter. I found online which pins are which, and I want to see if these are indeed the correct one, and if they are, I'm going to carefully solder small wire onto each one and see if it'll work. The other issue I've read is these controllers, there's some sort of fuse. It's not what you would normally think of as a fuse, but there's a setting on the chip that they've disabled the ability to update the flash. So I'm going to get out my multimeter, find my way around all these pins and see if they're the right ones, and then I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to solder onto there so I can make a connection to the programmer. Once again, we still use this same programmer, so I'll see if I can figure it out and I'll be back. Well, I got some wires soldered on. I don't have high hopes for this. I had a couple little issues where the trace is actually lifted off of the printed circuit board. So I'm hoping they're still connected. So that's why I tie wrap these together in order to kind of shore them all up. So now I know which wire is which here. I'm going to take my multimeter in continuity mode just to make sure that none of the little pads are shorted together. I may get some continuity between them, but as long as they don't beep, I'm okay. See, that's alright because it's showing resistance, it's not a short. And that's alright as well. I should just check adjacent wires, I guess. Save me some time. So the orange. This wire is from a Cat 5 cable. I wish I would have had some. Ultimately, wire wrap wire would be the best, but I used to have some. I'm not sure where the heck it's gone. It's probably long gone because that was from way back in my years at when I was doing my electronics engineering. So heck, I'm getting old. That was about 20 years ago already. Yeah, it's 20 years ago that I graduated. But, I'm going to use these instead. the orange, the white stripe, as well as the brown with the white stripe. They're beside each other. They'll be truly amazed if this works. Blue and green with the white stripe. Alright. Brown with the orange, solid orange. Let's see here. They're okay. Aha, see, there you go. Let's do a short it out somehow. So, let me get my magnifying glass out. Looks like that trace is going to be a tough one to do, so I'm going to definitely short it out. That's why I wanted to test that beforehand. I'll take my soldering iron. That's ground and power. So take the brown off. Let's see here. Hands of a surgeon here. I'm probably just going to bugger this up completely. Whatever. It's only $7. I can see a bit of a jump shorted to a component. Take the wire right out. There it is. Oh yeah, just short it out. And soldering iron, get in there. Get rid of that excess solder that's in there. If I can. Add some solder wick if I don't. I know HobbyKing has a clamp on programmer you can buy, which would be handy right now, but it's $20. If I'm going to spend $20, I'd rather just spend money on the proper other speed controllers that have the pads on the side that are easier to program. Let's see now. VCC, ground. Ground is ground. There we go. Got rid of the short. Now, the hands of a surgeon, open heart surgery, pretty much doing this. Not for the faint of heart. There we go, I just broke off a blue wire. There's a blue trace as well. And pretty much ruining this speed controller, but yeah, it's done. The only other option I think I have, since these pads have all broken off on me, doesn't really matter, these traces I should say, is go directly to the speed controller itself, which will be even more difficult. I don't know. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to end up ruining this one. And I really don't want to, I got 4 more to do. It's going to be too much of a hassle, so I think I'm just going to leave this as is. I'm going to hook it up to my receiver and just see if it still works or not. Then I can just use this as an extra. And I think what I'll do is order some of the different speed controllers that are easier to flash from HobbyKing. They have bigger pads to flash on, and maybe some wire wrap wire, make things easier. Or maybe I'll just bite the bullet and buy the programmer, the clip to do the programming. But in any case, I guess I can't win them all. But I'm going to solder some new battery wires and that on here just to make sure this thing still works or not. In any case, that's all for today. So take care and talk to you later.